They say every fairy tale has a dark side. Meghan and Harry, the whirlwind romance, the royal wedding watched by billions, but a Hollywood co-star just dropped receipts that destroyed their entire love story. While Meghan was falling in love with Prince Harry, she was living with another man and texting a third. This is the timeline they don't want you to see.
Tell me the movie again that you did with Meghan Markle.
Yeah, it's called A Dater's Handbook.
Okay, and that was 6 months before she met Harry?
Literally, yeah.
His name is Christopher Polaha, actor, Hallmark regular, and Meghan Markle's co-star in a film called Dater's Handbook. They filmed together from late September through early December 2015 in Toronto. Nothing glamorous, low budget, just enough to help pay rent. But Polaha remembers everything because Meghan talked a lot. During those months on set, she opened up about her personal life, her marriage to Trevor Engelson that had ended, her current relationship with the guy in Toronto named Cory Vitiello, and according to Polaha, she wasn't happy with either of them. He recently sat down for a podcast interview. Casual, relaxed, just sharing memories from working with someone who became royalty. But what he said, it should have been front page news. Polaha claims Meghan told him she was never in love with Trevor. 10 years together, a wedding in Jamaica, and she admits to a coworker she never loved him? That's brutal. But it gets worse. She was living with Cory at the time of filming. They had been together since 2014. Serious relationship, meeting families, planning a future. Yet Meghan told Polaha she wasn't into him either. Think about that for a second. She's living with a man, sharing a home, and telling people on a film set that she's not interested. Why stay? What was she waiting for?
She was married and she had been divorced. She was dating this guy in Toronto that she wasn't that into, and I was like, why are you dating a guy you're not that into? Like, you just got out of a marriage.
Polaha says Meghan texted him in 2015 claiming she broke up with Cory, took his advice to be footloose and fancy-free, single and ready to move on. Except that's not what happened. Not even close. The texts Polaha received tell one story, but the evidence? It tells something much darker. Before we dive into the chaos of 2015 and 2016, we need to talk about Trevor Engelson, because his story sets the pattern for everything that followed. Trevor was a film producer, ambitious, hardworking, decent guy by most accounts. He met Meghan in 2004 when she was a struggling actress trying to make it in Hollywood. They dated for 7 years before getting engaged. September 2011, they got married in Jamaica. Beautiful beach wedding. Friends and family, all the Instagram-worthy moments before Instagram mattered. By all appearances, they were happy. But something shifted when Meghan landed the role on Suits. She moved to Toronto for filming. Long-distance relationship. Trevor stayed in Los Angeles managing his production company. They made it work, or so he thought. By 2013, it was over. Meghan filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. Clean break, no drama, at least not publicly. But here's the part that haunts Trevor to this day. Meghan didn't just file papers. She didn't sit him down for a conversation. She mailed him back his wedding and engagement rings. Just sent them in the mail, like returning a sweater that didn't fit. Friends of Trevor say he was devastated, blindsided. He spent 10 years with this woman and got dumped via postal service. That's cold. That's calculated. That's a pattern. Trevor never spoke publicly about the divorce, never sold his story, never trashed Meghan in the press. He moved on quietly, started a new life, eventually remarried, but people close to him say he never really understood what happened. One day they're married, the next she's gone. No explanation, no closure, just rings in a package. That should have been a warning sign, but nobody was paying attention yet. After Trevor, Meghan stayed single for about a year. Then, in 2014, she met Cory Vitiello, and this is where things get interesting. Cory wasn't some Hollywood player. He was a chef, a successful one. He owned a small chain of restaurants in Toronto called the Harvard Room, and later Flock Rotisserie. Local celebrity in the food scene. Down to earth, well-liked. Meghan reviewed one of his restaurants on her lifestyle blog, The Tig. They connected, started dating, and by all accounts, it got serious fast. She moved into his place. They were living together, building a life. Cory introduced her to his family. She spent holidays with them. Christmas 2015, she was at family dinners. His mother loved her, thought she was wonderful, thought they were heading toward marriage. And here's the thing. Cory's friends and family believed they were engaged. Not officially announced, but the commitment was there. She was allegedly introduced to directors on the Suits set as his fiancé. That's not casual dating, that's serious. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Because while Meghan was playing house with Cory, she was telling Christopher Polaha a very different story. During filming of Dater's Handbook in late 2015, Meghan confided in Polaha that she wasn't into Cory, said she just got out of a marriage she wasn't into. Why jump into another relationship she didn't care about?
I was like, why are you dating a guy you're not that into? Like, you just got out of a marriage you weren't that into. Like,
Yeah.
go be free. So she texted.
Polaha's advice: don't waste time with someone you're not excited about. And according to Polaha, Meghan texted him in January 2016 saying she took his advice, broke up with Cory, single and free now, ready to see who's out there. But that's not what happened. New Year's Eve 2015 going into 2016, Meghan and Cory flew to Iceland together. One of Cory's close friends was getting married, destination wedding, romantic getaway, and Meghan was right there by his side. They rang in the new year together, celebrated with friends, took photos, acted like a couple deeply in love, because as far as Cory knew, they were. After Iceland, Meghan didn't fly straight back to Toronto. She made stops: Ireland, London, various places in the United States. Almost like she was meeting people, making connections, setting things in motion. Eventually, she returned to Toronto, and she moved back into the home she shared with Cory. Same house, same relationship. Then, just weeks later, in January 2016, Meghan texts Christopher Polaha, claims she broke up with Cory, says she's single and free, ready to see who's out there. But where's the breakup? She's still allegedly living with him, still in the same house, still playing the role of devoted girlfriend. Here's where Christopher Polaha's testimony becomes critical, because what he reveals next destroys the official timeline completely. Their movie, Dater's Handbook, aired in February 2016. Meghan and Polaha stayed in touch afterward. Friendly texts, casual check-ins, nothing unusual. In January 2016, she had texted him claiming she was single and free, excited to see who's out there. Then just 2 months later, in March 2016, another text arrives. Well, I met someone. Polaha asks if she likes him. Her response is, I kinda do. Now, let's pause here. 2 months. She went from, I'm single and ready to mingle, to, I met someone I kinda like, in 8 weeks. That's fast. Suspiciously fast. But here's the real problem. When someone says, I met someone, what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean you just bumped into a person yesterday. It means you've been dating them, things are getting serious, you're ready to tell people. So if Meghan told Polaha in March 2016 that she met someone, she had been seeing this person for weeks, maybe longer. That's how dating works. You don't announce a new relationship on day one. After that text, radio silence. He didn't think much of it. People get busy, new relationships take up time. He moved on. But here's the problem. Meghan was still living with Cory in March 2016, still posting photos together, still playing the part of committed girlfriend. Cory had no idea she was seeing someone else. And the someone she met? We'll get to that. But first we need to talk about the summer of 2016, because that's when the double life became impossible to hide. Summer of 2016 in Toronto. Meghan Markle is filming Suits, living with Cory Vitiello, and seeing Prince Harry in secret. Let's establish the official timeline first. According to Meghan and Harry's engagement interview, they met in July 2016. A mutual friend set them up on a blind date. Sparks flew. They fell in love fast. But Christopher Polaha's texts prove Meghan was already in a serious relationship in March 2016, and she had claimed to be single back in January, just 2 months before meeting someone she kinda liked. 4 months before she supposedly met Harry for the first time. The math doesn't add up. The timeline is broken, and nobody's asking questions. July 22nd, 2016. Meghan posts on Instagram thanking Flock Rotisserie and Harbour Room, Cory's restaurants, for feeding her and her mom while Doria visited Toronto. She's tagging his businesses, publicly associating with him, acting like everything is perfect. But behind the scenes, Harry had already visited Toronto. They had been secretly dating, sneaking around, keeping it hidden from everyone, including Cory. Tom Bower's book, Revenge, reveals that Meghan found the situation tricky but manageable. Tricky but manageable. That's how she described juggling 2 men. One she lived with, one she wanted to marry into royalty. Cory suspected something was off. The final months of their relationship were tense, unpleasant. He knew she was pulling away, but he didn't know why. Then Meghan went to Botswana with Harry. 5-day camping trip under the stars, romantic, isolated, just the two of them. And when she came back, everything changed. Meghan returned from Botswana knowing she had Harry locked down. The prince was smitten, the relationship was real, and suddenly Cory was in the way. So she dumped him. Quick, clean, brutal. According to sources close to Cory, he was relieved. The final months had been unpleasant. The emotional distance, the secrecy, the feeling that something was wrong. When it finally ended, there was almost a sense of freedom. Cory never spoke publicly about the relationship, never sold his story, never trashed Meghan. He moved on, started dating other people, rebuilt his life. But friends say he was played, used, kept around until something better came along. And when that better thing arrived in the form of a prince, she discarded him like he meant nothing. That's the pattern. That's who Meghan Markle is when nobody's watching. October 31st, 2016, Halloween. Christopher Polaha is going about his day when his phone buzzes. A text from Meghan Markle. The first one in months. The news is going to break today. Polaha is confused. What news? Then she explains. The guy I met in March, it's Prince Harry. Polaha was stunned. Prince Harry, the actual Prince Harry, and she had known since March. That's 7 months of secret dating, 7 months of hiding, 7 months of living a double life. That's not how someone shares a beautiful love story. That's how someone announces a victory, a calculated win. November 2016, the relationship goes public. Kensington Palace releases a statement confirming Prince Harry is dating Meghan Markle. The media frenzy begins. The fairy tale narrative takes hold, and everyone forgets about Trevor. Everyone forgets about Cory. Everyone forgets about the timeline that doesn't make sense, except Christopher Polaha, because he has the receipts. The text messages that prove Meghan was in a serious relationship in March 2016. The messages that prove she told multiple people before the press found out. The messages that prove she was living with one man while secretly dating another. He's not selling these texts. He's not trying to destroy Meghan. He's just telling the truth, sharing what he witnessed. And somehow, that makes him the villain. Let's add it up. October 2015 to November 2016. Trevor Angleson still dealing with the ghost of a marriage that ended without explanation. Cory Vitiello living with her, thinking they're building a future, only to be dumped the second someone better appeared. And Prince Harry walking into a relationship with no idea about the trail of broken hearts behind her. And those are just the confirmed relationships. There were rumors about Rory McIlroy, the golfer, whispers about hockey players in Toronto. Names that never made headlines because the men were too embarrassed to admit they had been played. Christopher Polaha has the text messages to prove this timeline. Real evidence, real dates, real conversations. Yet the mainstream media won't touch it. Royal reporters won't investigate it, and Meghan's defenders dismiss it as jealousy or misogyny. But this isn't about gender. This isn't about jealousy. This is about a pattern of behavior that destroyed multiple relationships. A pattern of using people until something better came along. A pattern of calculated moves disguised as romance. The men in her past stay silent, not because they're being threatened, not because they're afraid, but because they're embarrassed. Embarrassed they fell for it. Embarrassed they were played for fools. Embarrassed that they invested time and emotion into someone who saw them as stepping stones. Meghan knows how to pick her victims. Successful men, kind men, men who won't fight back, men who won't sell their stories, men who value their privacy and dignity too much to expose her. Trevor moved on, remarried, built a new life. Cory did the same. They're not bitter. They're not vengeful. They're just done. But their silence allows the fairy tale to continue. It allows Meghan to rewrite history, to claim she was single and searching when she met Harry, to pretend the timeline makes sense. And the more they dig, the darker the story becomes. October 2015 to November 2016, 13 months, 3 confirmed men, a trail of broken hearts, and a woman who walked away from it all into the arms of a prince. She knew how to play the game, keep Cory around for stability, date Harry in secret, and when the time was right, dump one for the other without looking back. That's not romance. That's strategy. Cold, calculated, ruthless. So what do you think? Was Harry set up from the start, or is this just another hit piece? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes, smash that like button, share this video, hype it, and subscribe, because we're just getting started.